Hi, friends. I brought a parable today to share with you. You remember some of the parables we've worked with before. The parable of the Good Shepherd, the parable of the sower, the parable of the seed, the little seed. And you may know some others too. But today I have one that's called the parable of the leaven. And it is in Matthew 13. And it's verse 33. And this is how it goes. Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed in with 3 measures of flour until it was leavened. I wonder if you have a Bible at home. And if you do, I wonder if you want to go get it. You can pause and go get it. And then maybe you could read along with us. But in just a few minutes, we'll read it again and listen to it. So you might remember that parables help us learn about who Jesus is. They help us learn about what heaven is like. In this parable, the parable of the leaven or the parable of the yeast, right, is one Jesus tells to help us learn about what heaven is like. So let's hear again, and we'll see what we notice about it. Matthew 13:33. Now Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed in with 3 measures of flour until it was all leavened. So our parable is about yeast, or about leavening, or about something that helps something rise. Now, you may have yeast at home. Your parents may have some they can show you, right? It might look like this. This yeast is made by machines. It is made in factories, right? And then dried. So you get tiny little yeast granules. All right? You can almost see how small they are in my hand. Don't worry, we'll save these for later. I promise not to waste them. But there's yeast everywhere. There's yeast in all kinds of things. Your parents, I'm sure, can tell you, or your people you live with can tell you all kinds of things that has yeast in it. So look, you might remember if you've been watching some of our other videos that Thomas and I have been catching yeast. We put flour and water in this dish about a week ago, and we just left it out like this, flour and water. And look, it's got yeast starting to grow in it. We caught some from the air. Now look, it's so small you can't see it, it's microscopic. But in the dish, you can see the little bubbles. So, the kingdom of heaven is like this. It's little, it's wild, it blows in the wind. I don't know. I wonder if we took yeast and mixed it with flour and water, it would tell us more about what the kingdom of heaven is like. Well, let's read it again. Let's see. Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed in with 3 measures of flour until it was leavened. So I'm going to put this away because I think I've got it. So here's our yeast. We've got our yeast. We've got a bowl. I've got some flour. And I've got a little bit of water. All right. So we're going to take our yeast going to scoop it into the bowl, right? Just like the woman did. Ooh, I can see how bubbly it is. We'll put our dish over here to wash in a little bit. Oh, I got some other water over here. This water might be better. All right, and so we'll mix. Let me think. Wait a minute. I think the passage in the Bible said 3 measures of water. All right, so I'm going to take a teaspoon and put 3 measures of water. All right, 3 teaspoons. All right, and then it said took 3 measures of flour. 1, 2, 3. All right, I'm going to mix it all up. All right, so here's the one, this is the one that has yeast in it, all right? So that we can see what it's like, we're gonna try, we'll put this to the side, right? We'll try doing this without the yeast, right? And see if that makes a difference at all. All right, so we'll do our 3 measures of water. 1, 2, 3. All right, and 1, 2, 3 measures of flour in the water. All right, and then just mix it up. All right. Yeah, and just a little bit more water, just a little bit. Maybe like my 3 measures maybe didn't come out quite right there. All right, so I'm not gonna put the spoon in it. All right, so the one with the spoon, we got one with the spoon, and we got one without. All right, so we're just gonna leave these here on the windowsill and come back in a few hours, maybe 4 hours or so. All right, so if you're doing this at home, you can try it out. Maybe you have some yeast, maybe you've been catching wild yeast with Thomas and I. Or maybe you've got some in the cupboard that your parents can let you use. Either way, try it out, mix it up, and see what happens. We'll come back in 4 hours, and we'll have the video. We'll come back on the video, and you can see what happens when the yeast gets added to the flour. Maybe that'll help us learn a little bit more about the kingdom of heaven. All right, well, we'll see you soon, okay? Hello, friends. Welcome back. This is our parable of the leaven, part 2. So here are our leavens all mixed up. We've got flour, water, and leaven in this one. You can see the spoon is still there. Also here is just our flour and water mix. So we're still continuing to wonder, what is it about the leaven that's like heaven? What can it teach us about heaven? So we're just noticing what we notice about these things that are different. You can kind of tell in this one it's not quite as high up as this one. Right, so if I tilt it, we'll get this spoon out of the way so you can see. You can see it's definitely, there's more volume to it. It's thicker. All right, this one is still just a little soupy, and there's really not much to it. All right, so it expanded, it grew. This one has a kind of fruity smell to it. It kind of smells good. This one has a different kind of smell. It's not as much of a smell. It maybe is just a little bit nutty, like flour and water. So I wonder what this could tell us about the kingdom of heaven, or the way God works in the world. So the yeast or the leaven in this one transforms the dough. Makes it bigger, makes it grow. It changes it. It's active, it's moving, what other things do you think of that show us or teach us about the kingdom of heaven? It'd be interesting to hear what you have to say and think. All right, friends, now if you're interested in making bread with this dough, you pick up right where Thomas and I pick up, where we add a quarter cup of flour to this and a quarter cup of water. And then in 8 hours, mix the dough. So you will add 500 grams or 3 cups of flour to this, or you will make and a cup and a half of water, or 350 grams. Right, so this will make bread. You can also just jump back over and watch us make it in the sourdough video that's also on YouTube. All right, friends, it was good to wonder with you. Take care.